Hello, hello, and hello to all of my Pisces. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your Motivational Monday reading. All right, Pisces, this is an extension of Sunday's reading. If you haven't had a chance to watch Sunday's reading, please consider watching it. Let's get into your reading. Let's get right into your reading. This reading is for the 12th of June through the 12th of July. Let's go. Let's see what your cards have to say, Pisces. All right, this is what you can expect coming up. Like I said, if you have not had a chance to watch Sunday's readings have questions for the upcoming major. So we come up for this, and as it relates to this, it's for the upcoming new phase within a new cycle that kicks off on the 18th of the month, and that's the new moon in Gemini, right? So just trying to get you prepared for that. Here we have the Six of Swords, we have the Princess of Pentacles, we have the Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Wands, Five of Cups, and also the Four of Swords. Source is saying to you, I see you moving on from something and never looking back, like no regrets in leaving the past behind. Here we have the Ten of Pentacles and starting to focus on your legacy. Not your parents' legacy, not your sister or brother's legacy, not your best friend's legacy, your legacy. The reason why you were brought here to earth, right? The reason why you came here to earth, which was, I have a purpose here, I have gifts and talents I need to use, that's going to really benefit mankind. That's what I want to focus on right now instead of me lamenting over something, from the past. That number 5 lets me know that it's a pivotal point in your life. Matter of fact, the number 12, 1 plus 2 is 3. So whenever you see the number 3 in any shape, form, or fashion, whether it's you see a 0 and a 2, or 1 and a 2 on a license plate, or a 2 and a 1 on a receipt, or however you see the number 3, sources trying to get you to see the power. That's a sign that God is saying you are born to inspire, right? How can you use your past to inspire people to move beyond their past, especially if it was traumatic, any way, shape, form, or fashion? So I do see somebody like this, like sitting, kind of sitting in a space where you feel like you're in a good space. You feel like you're settled, rooted, and grounded. You have a good idea of what you want your future to look like. Remember, you're a co-creator in your universe. I see somebody booked and busy and not burdened at all. Not burdened and bitter. Unless you decide, hey, I don't know what I want my legacy to be. Sometimes legacy, there's a lot of money attached to your legacy, by the way, but sometimes your legacy could look like, I'm giving somebody an example that's coming to me. Your grandparents are still alive, or your parents are still alive and they're kind of up in age, Pisces. It could look like doing like a picture book or interviewing them about their childhood, or things like that can be part of a legacy you can pass down to your kids, grandkids, so on and so forth. Or you can write a book if you don't have kids and let people know, like, how people have books that live on forever. We have classic books that people read in schools, they're still in libraries, all kinds of stuff. So what is your legacy going to be? Here we also have the Ten of Wands. And so I do see you being booked and busy and not burdened at all. So kudos and congratulations to you for no longer lamenting over something in the past, but using it to help other people, without, like I said, a lot of times people are like, I don't want to have to, this is where you're not making it about you. You're making it as a gift. Let's say you went through something horrific in your childhood. You're writing you want to write an autobiography, right? One of the things that you want to consider is, how is it, to some degree, yeah, it could be healing for you, but how is it going to really, really help the masses? When you hear people write biographies, they autobiographies, and they're talking about their own life, where I grew up on a farm, or I grew up in a trailer, or I grew up in the projects, and I saw such and such and such and such and such and such happen, and those kind of things, or you know, or maybe it's something, horrific, whatever it is. You want to start thinking, how can I creatively put this in a way where it's not really hurting anybody? See, some people feel like, okay, well, I got to get it out. I got to expose certain people in my life. But when you think about those people, nieces and nephews, are you trying to hurt them? Are you trying to hurt other people that you're telling this story about when they had nothing to do with it? They're innocent in all of this. Are you trying to hurt grandkids? Are you trying to hurt, other people, right? So Source wants somebody to start thinking about things on a more global scale of not necessarily just focusing on just you, but necessarily focusing just on you, but focusing on how is that going to help people all over the world. How is it going to help people all over the world and not hurt people, innocent people that did nothing to me, right? Or did nothing to you. So here we have the Six of Wands, we have the Knight of Pentacles, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, and also the Lover's card. So the Lover's card, Source really wants you to find out exactly what inspires you, what motivates you. When you're doing certain things, you feel like you can levitate, when you've had mental clarity when you're doing certain things, because that's how your money is going to grow. Source is trying to get an additional stream of income out of somebody. That is how your money is going to grow, and that's going to go towards your legacy. It may sound, satisfying or gratifying at the time. Let's say you in a let's say you had narcissistic parents, or because I've read a lot of books and I've heard really horrific stories, and I'm trying not to trigger anybody. Let's say, for instance, you had a narcissistic best friend or something, right? And narcissists will take you through. They will take you through literally hell, because for them it's a game. For you, it's your life. You like, what in the world? So let's say you had a narcissistic best friend. Of course, when you're a kid, you don't know that they're a narcissist or a psychopath or a sociopath or anything. You don't know what's going on. And so now you're talking about it, but you don't have a problem with the rest of the family. Their parents didn't do anything to you. Their siblings didn't do anything to you. None of those things. It was just that. And so Source is saying to you, you can still put together a piece of art without mentioning that person's name or even the family that they're associated with, because that can go down a real dark spiral. Like, I wonder what happened to the family, and the parents could have had nothing to do with it. It could have it could have jumped from another generation into that person, right? So Source is saying, I see you being victorious at restructuring, like relaying the groundwork to get booked and busy and not burdened, and also creating an additional stream of income without necessarily hurting anybody. Because a lot of times when people are writing books, autobiographies, they try to keep it as they try to keep the focus on them and not necessarily name names. But Source is saying, tap into that water, tap into that creativity, get your rest. You may have been disappointed by things that you left behind, but now it's time to focus on your legacy. Again, 10 of Wands. We also have the 10 of Cups. We also have the Page of Wands, the 4 of Cups, the 5 of Swords, and also the World card. So Source is saying you're closing out cycles airtight, but you're preparing for either some kind of partnership in business or partnership in love is what somebody is preparing for, and leaving all of the things that were giving you a headache behind. There's two situations in particular that really, really gave you a headache, and like I said, disappointed, very disappointing for you, but you're never looking back. So that's going to make somebody, those two situations are the sacrifice for you to be booked and busy, double booked and busy. Twin flame energy coming into your life, whether it's in business or in love, again, replacing that energy so that you're not, and remember, time is relative. So you may be thinking, if you're single right now, where is my person? Where is this person in business? But make sure you have completely released everything that's attached to some people. The people that you decided, I'm disappointed, I'm moving on from this, I need to lay some new groundwork here, my root chakra. I need to get my root chakra back together, because you have definitely been on the minds of some people from your past. And these are people that you would never go back to. And you being, and the emotions are deep. That's why somebody's spirit could be lamenting over something, because they're still on a lower frequency than you. So you sitting around ruminating over it, and also remembering how vulnerable you felt and how unprotected you may have felt in your own family, or maybe unprotected in some love relationships and those kind of things. Now when you are talking to Source and you're thanking Source for what you want coming up, which some people consider the future, and you're speaking it into the now. Thank you that I no longer feel vulnerable or unsafe. I know now how to protect my own inner child. So if I'm in the presence of anything, a job, a person, place, or thing, let me put it that way, and I feel vulnerable and unprotected by a manager on my job, or I feel vulnerable and unprotected by a love interest that I'm with, or I feel vulnerable and unprotected by a friend or a relative or whatever, I'm exiting stage left. I'm not sitting there until they keep projecting that negativity onto me, and I mirror that energy and anger and frustration and lash out, and hence you looking like the bad guy. Here we have sacrifice. That's right, sacrifice. It's like God is saying to you, I'm sacrificing those energies from your past, and I'm bringing you into a new life for yourselves, Pisces. And this is where when we had the last quarter moon phase in Pisces, people were kind of getting a glimpse into the spirit of a Pisces and how easily you can get overwhelmed by things. And so Source is saying, see it as a sacrifice. God had to remove some energies out of your life in order to give you some joy, some peace, some happiness. So see it as a blessing, right? And make sure you never extend another olive branch if it was just that hurtful for you. Something happened between the ages of 0 and 7 for somebody that's threw everything out of foundation, out of alignment. 36. Here we have 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 is the number of death, rebirth. This is a rebirth for you. Those are the sacrifices. You don't ever have to worry about those energies coming back into your life anymore, because that sword cuts both ways. So somebody could realize how bad they hurt you, Pisces, and realize, let me just get as far away from Pisces as possible. You must find the ebb and flow of life within your very self. Embracing it all is embracing truth. Yeah. So somebody may feel like, I wonder if my narcissistic ex know how bad they hurt me. When you're talking about a narcissist, to even ask that question of yourself, they may know how bad they hurt you, but remember, that's how they are. And to even try to go back to that to see if they'll ever say, I'm sorry. Don't even put yourself back in that situation. If you have narcissistic parents or people, there's so many different forms of mental illness. And, we don't joke about mental illness at all on my channel. That, again, it would just be hurting you to go back to something that God has already delivered you from. So once God delivers you from something, keep on moving forward. Because a lot of people, they get frustrated and angry. They feel like, now I'm starting to remember stuff. I got to go back and I got to handle this and I got to take care of that. It's better for you to just say, I need to sever ties. Inner power. Give me the courage and the power to do what must need to be done. And that is moving on. They already made a sacrifice. They're now sacrifices. You may have felt like a sacrifice before, but you're like, you know what? The life that you're creating for yourself right now, the legacy that you're creating. Amazing. So start your abundance planning, Pisces. Start your abundance planning. A lot of people will keep relatives connected to relatives instead of cutting them off completely because they're afraid of the backlash. What is everybody else going to say? What happened? Like stuff being rehashed. But this is really about protecting your mental health. Money is feminine energy. A lot of those energies will want to come back around and say, oh yeah, I'm related to, I'm very proud of. What? They wrote a book. Those kind of things. And then they go buying the book. Their name is not even mentioned in the book. And if they start accusing and saying stuff, then guess what? They're telling on themselves. Because you're not mentioning their name in the book. You're handling things. Or in a song. Or in a piece of artwork. Or movie. Whatever it is that you're doing. Because you're a pretty artistic sign. Pretty creative. When I say artistic, you're a very creative sign, Pisces. And so Source is saying, I'm trying to grow your money. I'm trying to grow your legacy. I'm trying to bring additional streams of income into your life. And again, even if you're reading cards, people can assume you're talking about anything. And if they want to tell on themselves, that's them. But bottom line is you're using your creativity and it's going to grow your wealth instead of you sitting around wondering about a lot of things. I wonder if certain things are going to resurface from the past. Like I said, it's two energies in particular. And when I say two energies, it could be 20, 30, 40, 50 energies you moved on from. But And when it comes to that level of pain that was caused, a level of disappointment that was caused, whether it was intentional or unintentional, that's what you're moving on from and healing yourself, Pisces. So doesn't matter if it happened from your manager, doesn't matter if it happened from, the neighbor down the street, doesn't matter who it happened with, the teacher at school, whatever. Source is saying to you, those are the energies you need to stay as far away from as possible. That's what I have for you, and I will see you all on Wednesday. Bye.